again, coming back to conspiracy theories, I heard that there was a bioweapon in the cargo hold. And here's where it gets interesting. This bioweapon was being transported by one of the passengers, who was, I don't know, Russian, I don't know, from Malaysia to China, because the final destination of the plane was indeed China. The filed destination was Shanghai, I believe, and it was being transported to be handed over to China. But the reason why this conspiracy theory holds some water is that there were two people in the passengers list with fake passports, and that is a fact. So the investigations have proved that two of the passengers had fake passports. So they could be CIA or Mossad or who knows. So what they did, they hijacked the plane and they took it to Diego Garcia, which is a island in the Indian Ocean, couple of hundred nautical miles down
It's
south
actually a
from.
British islands, yeah.
Right. So they landed it in Diego Garcia, and they kind of, confiscated the bioweapon, and they just killed the rest of the passengers. That's where it becomes a little unbelievable, because you don't expect a Western country to kill innocents, but who knows, right? So
No, I doubt
yeah,
that.
they wouldn't do that, right? Yeah, even with all the crazy and terrifyingly violent things that the CIA has done in the Middle East, this is a bit far-fetched to kind of hijack a plane and kill all passengers. Not gonna happen, uh, but till that point, it holds some water because of the two people who
Yeah,
were traveling with stolen passport. What do you think about
that
the
and the direction.
and the direction towards Diego Garcia? What do you think of that idea, that
I
possibility?
mean, it is possible because the radar tracks did see it going across Malaysia, generally
Right,
down towards India or south of India, which is where Diego Garcia is. And there
right.
is it's a British island, but there's a big US military base there. I
Yes.
mean, it is possible that the plane got diverted there, but then again, they wouldn't. Where's the passengers and where's the
Right,
plane?
right, right.
Why would? Yeah, that's where I can't believe it.
But this
You
might
know,
happen.
why
Okay,
would they
this
hide
this
these?
is right, right. Just popped into my head right now. So hypothetically, the two CIA agents or MI6 or Mossad or whoever hijacks a plane, right? Because they want to get their hands on the bioweapon, bring it to an allied country. They hijack the plane, they reroute it, and they're on their way to Diego Garcia or some other place. And then
Mhm.
obviously there are people who are Chinese or Russian or whoever from the other side of the other side of the Iron Curtain, so to speak, who are actually responsible for bringing the bioweapon to China, right? So there's a conflict erupting
Mm.
in the cabin between these two parties, right? The Americans or the Westerners and the Chinese or whoever. And
Yeah,
then in that conflict, or maybe a firefight within the cabin, the plane crashes. Isn't that a much more possible,
that is a more plausible way. Yeah,
isn't it?
there's a
Right?
control. There's a way of
Right.
definitely is a more plausible way. A flight of control, or then it just runs out of fuel afterwards, or
Right.
yeah,
I think
a
that
big
holds
fight
most
in the
water,
cabin.
right? There's a 90%
It
chance of
does.
that happening, right? Isn't it? And
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, that could be it. And maybe one of the
but that
pilots
doesn't
was an
explain the
agent.
pre-programmed route. It
Doesn't,
doesn't
yeah. So
explain the
that's a loose
pre-programmed
end.
route in this
R-
bedroom.
Right. Who knows?
But then again, he could.
Maybe the pilot was in on it. Maybe he was working for
That's
the Chinese.
potential.
Chance, of course, yeah. We're
Or
shooting
maybe
arrows in the dark. Right.
he knew that the cargo was going to be there. He knew that the plane was going to be diverted because it literally happens. You had the Malaysian air traffic control, Kuala Lumpur air traffic control center, and you got the Ho Chi Minh, Vietnam.
Right.
So the last thing the Kuala Lumpur control center handed him off to the Ho Chi Minh control
Right.
center. Perfectly
Right.
normal communication, seemed
Right.
completely normal. Hands off change frequency.
Right.
There was no contact with Ho Chi Minh, and at that point,
Right.
the transponder went off.
Yeah.
Like it was definitely pre-planned.
It was.
So
It
like the
was.
pilot knew what was going on. No one's going to know that the control center is now about to hand the plane over. So it literally happened at that moment. So the pilot
So
definitely, for some
definitely
reason, had
knew.
it. Yeah,
Right. So
yeah.
why wouldn't it be the case that the pilot was either working for a Western agency, or maybe, I don't know. I mean, that the pilot was definitely in on it according to
Or he had
my
orders.
theory.
He had orders from high. He had orders from whoever.
Could be it. And then in the
Mm.
resultant standoff between the two parties, the plane crashed. Could be. right? That's
Yeah,
very much
somewhere in the
possible.
Andaman Sea or the Indian Ocean.